He was playing with me. And I was serious about this from the beginning. And I just did not appreciate that.
She walked in, opened her mouth, and sang. And they still popped her balloon. One said the hair, one said the outfit looked like she was going to a funeral, one said he just wouldn't give her the time of day. So by the time she gets down to the last two men standing, what does the one who stayed see that everybody else missed?
Hello. What's your name?
Kyla.
Kyla, how old are you?
I'm 28.
And what do you do?
I'm a singer.
Oh, can we hear something?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, let's hear something.
Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace.
Yes! All right. You pop after that.
You didn't like it.
All right. And now, what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to travel. I like to get into different things like anything adventurous. So like they have these jungle gyms. I like to do that. I like to go out to eat. Arcades. Just kind of like enjoy each other's time.
All right. So now, what do you look for in a man?
I look for someone who is intentional. I look for someone who's a dreamer, someone who, you know, is ambitious, a driver. Yeah.
Okay. What are some deal breakers?
Some deal breakers, kids, definitely. What else? Someone who's disloyal, not respectful, doesn't enjoy the family dynamic.
Okay. All right. So we did get some pop balloons.
Okay.
Let's go on over there, see why they ended up popping. Your name and age?
Hey, I'm Terrence. I'm 28.
All right. Terrence, why did you end up popping your balloon?
She just not my type, but I feel like she a beautiful woman. She just not my type.
Okay. What makes her not your type?
I would say like the hair color. Yeah. Other than that, like everything good. Yeah.
Nice. Now, is he someone that's your type?
No. No, he's not.
Okay. Why not?
I don't really care for the outfit, to be honest. And maybe the face. Just not my usual looking guy that I would go for.
Thank you. Got another pop over here. Your name and age?
I'm DeMarcus and I'm 30.
All right. DeMarcus, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
Beautiful woman, just not my type.
Okay. What makes her not your type?
Don't ask that. I ain't trying to reiterate what Terrence just stated.
Okay.
Just hair type.
Hair color.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, is he someone that's your type?
He could be.
Okay.
Yeah, he could be.
So what makes him not, since he
said,
could be?
You said you're 30, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know. I just don't get 30 vibes.
What are you getting?
I don't know. Maybe a little older than that. But I don't know.
Oh, for real?
Maybe that's just
Honestly, that's great. I didn't think you were gonna say that.
Okay, but I love the smile. Like the teeth
Thank
are
you.
100. I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out Invisalign.
Okay.
I have
okay.
big ag gap.
I feel that. I feel
Big ag
that.
gap.
And I like the whole get up. Like,
She told me my jeans was ugly, so I
Oh.
appreciate that.
I'm sorry about that. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if money wasn't a necessity in the world, what would you do to maybe like two things? It could be like career-wise, hobby-wise. What would you do for the rest of your life?
Okay, let's start with your name and age first.
Devin, I'm 30. So I can just do whatever and live.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And money wasn't a factor.
I mean, I would honestly just hoop and I can do whatever.
Whatever.
I would just hoop and travel. I can travel the world just playing people one-on-one, winning,
Okay.
get famous for being the best one-on-one player, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't have an in-depth, that was just what I could come up with real quick.
Okay, so there's two guys left. You got to hear a little bit. They got to ask you questions, but I am not going to have you pop a balloon.
Okay.
All right. So why did you have your balloon unpopped?
Well, I like that she's a singer because I love karaoke. I like
Karaoke.
I like just some of her goals and like 5-year plan she had, and I just really wanted to hear her out just because I feel like looks is only surface level, so it's all about personality.
It is.
Okay. And why'd you end up popping his?
To be honest, I didn't think. I think I liked his vibe a little better.
Okay.
I kind of like the tech world, so I was interested in that. But I do love that we shared a lot of things in common in terms of having a musical sense, and then also you talked about being passionate about community service and helping others. So I love that, but I think I just resonated well with him.
Yeah, he was cracking more jokes.
I'm a joker too, so that worked.
I can't blame you. Can't blame you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'll have you stand over there. I'll bring you on up here. All right, y'all. Any final questions before we determine if this is a match? If you don't have one, that's okay as well.
You said 4 kids. No kids
Still thinking about
now. LA,
LA.
California.
Yeah. Where are you?
I live here.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Scottsdale. So that's a little
It's not
commute.
bad.
All right. What if I say it's 75, 20, 60, 40, 70, 30 commute? As far as like, that's good?
Oh yeah, like okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You
But
70?
I'm the 70.
Okay.
No, wait, hold up.
I love it.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
the
no,
70.
no.
Okay. All right.
I'm willing to work with you.
Okay, that's cool. No, I'm cool.
You're good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. So, is it a yes for you for her?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
We got a match! I'll take the mic, and you guys can go on off. Make some noise for them, guys! And now, so for us to kind of just dive right on in, as to what we're here for today, since you guys ended up matching, have you gone on a date?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the date? Was it the same day, next day? Tell me all about it.
It was the day after.
Oh, the day after. Okay. And Kyla, you're in Cali, right?
I'm in California.
Okay. So how long were you in Arizona for?
I only stayed until the next day, so
Okay.
we packed pretty quickly. So it was either going to be that night or the next day.
Got it. So where do you guys
Squeeze
go?
something in.
Yeah.
We got coffee. Do you remember the name of the place?
No, I don't remember.
We
Okay.
got we went and grabbed coffee. It was over there in like that Biltmore area.
Nice.
So it's kind of like in between where I was coming from and where she was staying at.
Okay. So how was that? How was the coffee date?
I'll let him go first.
Oh,
I thought it was
okay.
good. I thought it was good. Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully, how I felt about it isn't the opposite. But I thought it was a good time. I mean, we sat there for like three hours. I don't know. It was a long time. But we were just talking. It was a little different because, like, typically, like a first date, it's I don't want to say intimate. It's not intimate. It's not the word I'm looking for. It's kind of just like the basics. Like, oh, what kind of movies do you like?
Right,
Like
getting
stuff
to know
like that.
someone. Surface level
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. But this conversation was more like, oh, we just matched, and there was almost like a slight bit of seriousness to it, like questions that I wasn't typically like asking or information that I was even looking for. And I think that's kind of why it was longer too than just like a typical, like quick interaction, an hour or something like that. But I got to know her, and it was the same energy that she kind of had on the show. I thought she was pretty cool, and yeah, that's what she kind of just reinforced that belief.
Okay. Nice. How was it for you, Kyla?
So I kind of want to go back a little bit because I feel like certain details are real important.
Okay. No, go for it. Let me know
So-
it all, girl.
After we matched, went off stage, we opted into staying to watch the rest of the couples because we wanted to see how everything was going to go. So we sat down and immediately, we started talking and the chemistry was there. He talked about, how my nails weren't too long. He liked how I looked. He, instead of like going along with some of the guys said about my clothing, he actually said he really liked my clothing. He commented on my hair. He liked that as well. He said
Nice.
I looked very classy, very modest.
And did,
So yeah,
yes.
Yeah, boy.
that's kind of how that went. And we even, at one point, I got really cold inside of the studio. So he put his arm around me. Like felt like there was a instant click with us in terms of attraction and connection. He felt very mature, very down to earth. And I appreciated that about him. And so, yeah, after the show, went to the lobby area and everybody was just kind of like mingling. But I felt like I just popped y'all balloon and you popped my balloon, and it kind of was just weird being there. So immediately he asked me for my number. We exchanged contact, and he said that, oh, I met his brother too. He introduced himself. He said that he had to see what his brother was going to do because, he just came into town. So he wanted to make sure they didn't have any plans. And if not, he wanted to then meet up with me after. So I said, okay. I said, I'm going to leave now because it's super awkward. So I left. And when I got back to my hotel, he called me. He said that everyone in the group had decided to go out somewhere, some club that was local. And did I want to meet him there? So I was like, yeah, because first date, I love it. So he said that he would let me know about maybe 10 minutes before he left because he had to run home really quickly. And then I could meet him. So time went by, maybe like an hour later, he called me and said that he had eaten already and he had jet lag and he was tired now. So he said, can we just take a rain check for this? And maybe tomorrow, being that I was leaving the next day, we could grab coffee or something and it would help with my drive. So I agreed to that. Yeah. So then the next morning he did follow up. He initiated. He planned the coffee date in between his work schedule and we met for coffee. And so this is where we kind of get into the coffee thing. During our date, honestly, I felt like we talked about so much, like he said, we talked about a lot of things that weren't just surface level. We talked about deeper things. It was very intentional and just something that I really appreciated at the time. We talked about communication styles. We talked about our likes, our dislikes. We talked about our hobbies. Of course, work a little bit more, our families, the family dynamic, what we had going on. We even talked about our timeline on dating, marriage. We talked about
Good
kids.
topics. Yeah.
Thanks. We talked about kids. We talked about just the future between us. We talked about school. We talked about, he even told me that he thought about going to an HBCU in the past because he wanted to find his black wife. So for that, he appreciated, a black woman's features. He appreciated what my features were because, as black women, we have, certain things that kind of stand out about us. And he said he wanted that for our kids. He wanted them to be athletically built. So, I just felt like he was super intentional. He was super enthusiastic about us. Everything felt natural. Our chemistry was there. And yeah, I think one thing that kind of threw me at first was that he said that he didn't believe in God and that he just followed himself. And so I was kind of thrown because I'm like, well, because, we're talking about religion, but I'm like, dang, that's something I wish I would have said on the show.
Right. Yeah.
But I do know that I've had my own journey in finding my love for God and, finding my way. So I didn't want to, slight him for his decision. I wanted to see kind of where his mind was at
Yeah.
and just see if we could make it work either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reservations about that. But like you said, we spoke for a long time. Actually, it was 4 hours because we started at 12 and we ended at 4. He didn't even want to leave. It was,
Oh,
well,
wow.
I didn't want to leave either, but it was the fact that it was getting darker and I had a
You had to
6-hour drive
drive. Yeah.
to LA. So I was like, okay, so, maybe I should get on the road now. But I did really enjoy our talk, and, we summed things up.
Okay.
It,
Nice.
we both didn't want things to end. So a
Oh.
great time.
That sounds like a really, really good first date, and
I
it's
was.
4 hours. Y'all were chopping it
Very-
up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So once you left, you got home. How was
Mhm.
the communication from that point on? Did you guys talk, FaceTime, message? How's everything?
Did you want to go? I know I just
Yeah,
talked.
let's hear from Dev now.
Yeah, so let's see, right off the bat, that was what, like a Sunday. And then yeah, so then we were talking and then we were kind of going over like how we like to talk, kind of what she was mentioning. I like audio messages because I just think they're a little more, you get the tone.
Yeah,
You kind of, it's way more expressive than just like a text because texting can come off like you just have no idea how the person is saying it.
exactly.
So that's
Yeah.
what we were doing. We were sending audio messages, and that like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know I was probably pretty responsive during those days
Mhm.
because I just work from home, so it's super easy for me to listen to a message and get one out.
Yeah.
And then like Thursday came around, and I have a couple jobs. Like all I do is work, and that was another thing that we talked about too over coffee. It was like schedules and kind of how things would even work out.
Mhm.
But then I go into like I work all Thursday, and I'm trying to get to the gym, and then like that's my whole day, and then Friday work, Saturday work, Sunday
Mhm.
work. So that's when I definitely got less responsive, and that was probably the first time when I didn't respond for like it might have been like 2 or 3 days. It might have been 3 days because I think she got on me. She said she
You
was
didn't
like,
reply for 3 days?
yeah. So yeah, that was not cool on my part. But I just get busy and I don't want to talk to anybody, and I just kind of go into like that mode where I'm
Okay.
just all about work, work in the gym, and then just my dog. So yeah, and then I finally responded to that. And then at that point, it just felt like for me, I don't know how deep you want me to go, like in this little bit.
Let us know everything. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So when that happened, I don't know what kind of like switched with me, but it was just like, maybe I don't like, I don't want to like, not that it's too much effort for me, because that's kind of unfair to say. But it was just already becoming like a challenge for me just to even be responsive. And it's not like something that's 1000% new. But it just really depends on what I got going on. So then I finally responded to that, and then she kind of got on me about that one. And then at that point, I was just trying to consider like how, where I wanted to go with it. Or also what was actually happening is I was replaying our conversation over and over again over coffee, because I'm trying to weigh like, okay, is this feasible? Is this a relationship that, that can thrive and like flourish? And I was just going over everything, just kind of like making a list in my head. And it got to a point where I was like, I don't really know. And then that's when it was between work and then that. And then I was like, I don't know. And then when she got on me about not responding, I was still like thinking about it. And then that was kind of when it was for me. I was like, all right, I'm going to tell her how I feel about all this. And then I probably responded a few days again after that with that information.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll just kind of cut it right there.
Okay. So you said this is not the first time this has happened. So your communication skills have been a problem in the past. Is that what you're saying?
It's not even just communicating, because I mean, I know how to communicate. It's not a matter. It's almost like, do I want to put forth the effort to communicate? And then my availability just in general. Just because I do work a lot. I mean, like today, even when the night out after the show got postponed, it was because I got home and I was like, I don't know why I told anybody that I was about to leave my house again, because I got to work in the morning. I was like, I got to go work. I got to work in the morning. And then like even planning the coffee date was, around work and like squeezing that in, even though it was 4 hours of squeezed in, I'm still managing, work at the same time. So it really just becomes like availability. But yeah, I mean, I know how to communicate. I know how to use words, but it's just a matter of,
If you want to.
yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Kyla, how was it? He said you got on him a couple times about the whole, him getting back to you and stuff. What was said? How was that making you feel?
So I'll just start with the story.
Mhm.
So yeah, when on my way home with the drive,
Yeah.
he checked in. He was very consistent about that and making sure I got in safe. So then, like he said, he did mention over coffee that he preferred to do voice notes, and I was fine with that because I'm on the go as well. We live in two different states, so I know that we have to find our way together to kind of connect in terms of schedule. So I was fine with that, and we were super consistent. That was another reason I was fine with it because there was no lag, there was no going times where I didn't know where he was, or I didn't know what was on his mind. He was saying a lot of things that were on his mind. I will say the voice messages were very intentional. I keep stressing that word because I think that's what keeps replaying in my head, the intentionality of this whole thing and how consistent it started off. Um, and so yeah, he mentioned that we talked about schedules. We did talk about schedules. We talked about, because he has so many jobs. He named a few jobs that he had over coffee. And I was like, okay, so when are we going to find the time? And
Right.
asked him specifically if he felt that he could, afford his lifestyle and a family with the cybersecurity job alone, or did he need all of the jobs to exist?
Mm.
Um, and he said no. He said the other jobs were just because he needed something to do. He figured instead of spending money at the club, he might as well make money.
Okay.
So um, I took his word on that one. But so back to consistency and talking. So we were super consistent with that. We talked about the schedules. We talked about him possibly coming to visit me based on his schedules during the week
Yeah.
would be better. And yeah, we talked about things like my sorority. He talked about how he even research on my sorority. And that's how into me, I guess I was getting that he was.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like just even taking the time out to learn about me, learn about what I like, what I don't like, and vice versa. I'm trying to learn about him as well. And so yeah, we were super consistent, and then eventually he just ghosted me. And I'm like, for
What's
everyone
going
in the
on?
yeah, for everyone in the world, when you get ghosted, it's kind of like, okay, something's wrong.
Mm.
So the first day, completely disappeared, did not say a word. The second day, did not say a word as well. However, I was feeling like, well, maybe the man is in the hospital. The man is in the hospital.
Monica, relax.
Maybe he's sick. Like he has to be
There
because
has to be a reason.
yes, how do you go from being super consistent for some time and then an abrupt stop.
Mm.
So taking my pride out of it, I was like, let me just reach out to him, see if he's okay. So I reached out to him. I asked him, hey, hope all is well, are you okay? He answers right back. Like, this is the time when you don't answer, but he answers right back. And he's like, hey, sorry, just super busy. I'm alive though. I've been super
Oh,
busy, but I'm gonna respond back to your voice message tomorrow when I get in the office. So I
okay.
said, okay. Well, actually, I didn't even respond because what do I need to say to that? So
Mm.
then the next day comes, seeing if he's gonna follow up. Not one word. Not one word. We went from morning to evening. Not one word. The next
Okay.
day after that comes, and then he sends a voice message later on in the day.
Mm.
Um, and he basically he basically just stated that, he had been busy. He thought about me, but he just had a lot going on, and he was doing different things. He had to get a gym lift in. He had to go for a, what is that, a fitting for a suit. Like, to me, it was things that if I was being if I was about someone, I would make time for them. And he just said, I grabbed some food to eat. I went out with whoever he went out with. He kind of grazed over that. And it was just like, yeah, I thought about you and I was gonna respond, but I just didn't. And so, the origin of the message was just super um insensitive to me. And then he started deflecting, talking about a Waymo that he took, and he it was just a great experience for him, and it was a time he had. Meanwhile, I'm I'm in limbo, like trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
So, but anyways, I responded the next day, and I told him that, well, again, I'm glad that you're okay, you're alive, but I'm kind of concerned about that because if you kind of disappear on somebody that's supposedly you're working towards something with, and we're long distance, I mean, that was made very clear on the show.
Yeah.
It kind of was a red flag. It kind of told me that something was wrong, like deeper than what he was telling me. And I felt like, honestly, it was either something else or someone else, because that's the only thing that made sense to me. So from that day, after I responded, he took 7 days to then respond. You need to leave. Back. And so when he responded back, he lied and said it was because he said it was because he doesn't talk to somebody, he doesn't talk to people every day, and he just, life was just going on. But then later on, as he's continuing talking, he says, well, actually the real reason is because I just feel like when we talked about kids, it was one of those things where you said that you wanted them sooner than I would have wanted them. And verbatim, when we talk, I want to go back to the point of the kids. When we talked about kids, he asked me when I wanted kids. I told him, because I was very clear on the show, wanted 4 kids, but I told him when, because I'm doing my singing career right now, I got a lot going on, and I'm sure he does as well. I'm not looking for a kid tomorrow. I'm not looking for a kid within the next 2 to 3 years. I said, I don't want kids until after 30 years old.
Okay.
He says, yeah, okay, that's cool. I could work with that. He said, but I want kids maybe like 3 to 4 years from now. And, again, we went through the whole timeline of marriage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I said that was fine. But then on his voice message, he says, well, actually, I don't want kids till I'm 35 and I'm 30. So, like, you lied in person and said, 3 to 4 years was good for you. And you never told me anything about, oh, I'm feeling some kind of way about, your timeline on kids. And that was a simple thing that we could have communicated about and kind of cleared up, because again, like, I'm not ready to be a mom. That was hence why I said I didn't want someone with kids, because I'm not ready to be a stepmom or a mom right now. So I felt like that was an excuse that he used.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I felt like the whole message, he was joking. And he's yawning, he's joking. He thinks this is funny. And the whole time it's playing with my feelings. But he was super airy, emotionless, cold. After that voice message, I cried. Like, I genuinely cried, because I felt like he was playing with me. And I was serious about this from the beginning. And I just did not appreciate that.
Okay. All right. So, Dev, what do you think it was that kind of clicked? Like, do you have anything specific that clicked in your head that made you realize, I don't really want to put any more effort towards this?
Well, my timeline for kids has always been like the same for like the past few years. And it's always been like 5 years from now, or 6 years from a year ago, or 7 years from before that. And I could have sworn, maybe I just misremembered that, but I thought she told me she wanted to start having kids in about 2 years. So I was like, 5 years, 2 years, that's pretty different. Like that's fairly significant. Not to mention my timeline won't shift up. It'll only shift further away.
Okay.
So then it's like, now you're talking like even more time. And I just felt like I just knew I wasn't going to budge on that. Like, I mean, I've been told I'm stubborn, but I knew I wasn't going to budge on that note. So I didn't want it to be like a point of contention down the line. So it's just like, that's pretty significant. And that's like, it felt like enough of a reason to be like, all right, yeah, maybe, maybe this isn't something that we would pursue or that we should pursue. And that's always like something that I'm always aware of. Just like, okay, when is your timeline of having children? And I just didn't want her to keep delaying because I wasn't there yet. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I misremembered that, but that was like a significant point amongst it all. I mean, there's like little things too, but it's just like that was the most significant. It's just like I think that's a good enough reason.
Okay.
But so, what were the little things? I guess because I'm
she
confused.
feels like she's in the dark, basically.
Yeah, not hearing
Fair.
anything but that kids, especially when we talked about kids in person. And again, like I just can't help but stress the fact that there were no reservations on your end. I didn't see anything, any frustration, anything. You even told me you wanted to name our daughters Angela and Victoria. Like we're talking about kids' names and whatnot, and for you to then throw that back and use that as a reason where, oh well, you want them a little quicker, when I never came off it, I need kids tomorrow. I don't know if you were scared by the whole 4 kids thing, but you expressed that you wanted 3 kids and what was one more. So there's no way you could have been thrown off by 4.
No, it wasn't the number or anything.
Or what else could it have been?
Yeah, I guess she just wants to know what were the little things? You said there were some little things. What were those little things?
Real quick, those names for kids are just like names that I have in my head. Like it was that I didn't want it to come off like I would never start a conversation like that, that early to be like, this is what I want to name our children. I just would.
So do you understand this is what I'm going off of? You did.
No, I brought it up. Like these are names that I like for sure. And then we were talking about names that we liked or like didn't like. Okay, I get how it can be perceived as that. That's fine. And then I didn't want religion to be a thing in the future either. Just because it's just when she told me that she thought about like mentioning that on the show, or at least the person that she matched with, she kind of decided that she was okay if they were not religious, but not okay if they were like of a different religion. And I just felt like she was kind of sacrificing with that. And I was just thinking about the dynamic of having children and having one parent that is religious and then one that is me, who, like, I just don't know how you go about that time when it's like, all right, let's pray, or we do something like that. And it's just like, all right, am I going to be involved in like every situation, acting like this is what I do? Or am I like, I just don't take part in this? And then now it's like, okay, why doesn't dad do this? And why does mom do that? So it just seemed like another point where it was just like, oh, that's just something difficult or an obstacle to overcome in the future. And we're just not at a point yet where I'm like, oh, I want to go forward and overcome that obstacle in the future, just because it is so early in the relationship. And then another thing is I'm a big fitness person. Like right after this call, I will be going to the gym 7 days a week.
Wow, 7, that's a lot.
Yeah, with my schedule and things like that. So I squeeze it in as much as I possibly can. And I asked her like, what was her gym regimen and things like that. And it just wasn't like to me, it didn't come off as like a significant aspect in like, your day to day. So to me, it was just like, all right, like it's not even just the gym, but I think about the future. And I want to be attracted to my wife forever until I die. And I feel like the gym is a huge part of that and like maintaining, that physical attraction and things like that. So for me, it was just like, okay, sure, it would be way easier to like get somebody on board like my regimen if they're here. It's a little more difficult, with the distance, because like what typically happens is you just kind of you just kind of follow along each other. It's like, okay, you see me going to the gym. It's like, okay, now I want to go to the gym. And it just kind of works out that way. But since, that distance exists, it's just another obstacle.
Okay.
Okay, so did you miss the part that I said I dance at Debbie Allen's academy
No, for sure. I know you do that.
in the fitness? So like, because I kind of felt that going towards, oh, in the future I might not be attracted to you. Like, did you miss the part that I am physical? It may not be the gym, so to speak, but dance is a form of physical fitness as well. Like, did you miss that part?
No, for sure. I believe that, but it's just like, I just know it's like gym, yoga, Pilates is like where I go when I'm like, all right, staying in shape. I'm not saying that you can't stay in shape from dancing. It's just like, it's also something that I'm not also involved in. So it's not necessarily a disconnect, but it's just not something that we kind of are in sync about.
So you're saying you would have preferred someone who you guys can have that in common, like you can go gym together? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, because if you don't, I will like make note of like the fact that I'm going to the gym. Not in like, I don't want to say like well, like when it comes to squats or something like that, it's like, oh, I will make a comment if you don't do something like right, just because it's like I'm trying to encourage you to like get on board that aspect. But yeah, no, like the gym is like, I want like, I love that. And then even for the children, like I grew up, the reason why I'm super into the gym and growing up my whole life was people making comments about how big my dad was. Oh, your dad's so big, his arms are so big. So it's just like, I was like, I love that about, hearing that about my dad. It was like one other thing to admire about him. So I'm like, I want my kids to feel the same way. When I pick them up from school, when we do anything, I'm at the basketball game. Dude, your dad's so in shape. And it's just like, yeah, and he can just have that. They can have that. So it was just like one of those things for me.
So I guess the crazy part about it is, why didn't you ask me if I was open to going to the gym with you? Like you never, what I'm hearing now was never expressed. Like little do you know, my family owns a gym. My dad and my brother are bodybuilders. That I've grown up in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to kind of just not even ask and assume that I wasn't open to the gym and kind of just sideswipe me with that, to me that's just shallow. It's very shallow.
Well, it's not about being open to the gym. It's just the fact that you just said it. It's like, would I be willing to go to the gym with you? But it's like that aspect is just that distance creates that disconnect and makes that so much harder.
Okay.
So I guess in the end, you're basically saying the long distance, even though on the show you said you were okay with it, but you're kind of saying in the end, it's something that is.
I'm not against long distance, but you're just talking about, I'm not against, what I am against is, I think relationships there should be a nice flow to them, and they shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. I'm not a part of that, like, work through all this, blah, blah, like, I'm not a part of that. I like my life. My life is already as hard as it needs to be. What I don't need is another challenge in a relationship. So in a situation where things do work out very well, it's almost like it doesn't have to be necessarily a perfect match, because that is asking for a lot. But, like a very, very ideal, like we are very in line with like our lifestyles and everything just kind of fits. Mm-hmm. I got no problem with long distance at all. But when you add those additional obstacles, then it's just like, all right, I got a lot going on, and that's just a whole nother thing to consider on top of the fact that, like I don't need to see you every day. Like I'm cool. I'm busy enough. I can see you once a week. I can see you once a month. But it's just like all those other little things. It's like, I don't want to put forth that much effort in something that feels like it's going to be difficult, like more difficult than it should be for me when it comes to a relationship.
Okay. So what was the last thing that was said between the two of you? Like, how did this come to an end officially?
So it was the message that he sent me a week later, and I never responded. The message, I believe, was very cold, again, very insensitive, very emotionless. He was laughing, yawning. He thought it was a joke. He thought the entire thing was a joke. And I just, honestly, I just concluded that it seemed like I was just something to do, because when we talked about exes, and he expressed that his last ex in 2023 was just something to do.
I don't think I was as invested as I would typically be in any situation. Like, the only difference is the fact that I was trying to dig a little bit deeper than I typically would, just because the circumstances of everything.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I guess there was definitely a difference in that. Um, I was interested. Like, I wasn't interested, and I was just sitting there acting like I was interested the whole time. No, we had a great conversation. Anybody that asked me, I'm like, yo, we had coffee for 4 hours. They're like, damn. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, she's super cool. Like, conversation was good. But then I gotta ingest all that information and then like decide what I want to do with it. And that's all that happened.
So I got word that you actually did go out the night that you told me we weren't gonna meet up.
I did not. I swear to you on everything that exists.
Okay.
So that's
great.
the full story. A 4-hour date that felt like everything. Voice messages that felt intentional. And then silence. He says it was never that serious. She says the voice messages prove otherwise. Was it the kid's timeline that ended it? Or was he already checked out before he ever said goodbye? Either way, she showed up. He didn't. What do you think? Write your thoughts down in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes like this.